You thought the Caitlin Clark versus Angel Reese showdown was just about basketball? Think again. The rivalry has now spilled into entire cities. The Washington Mystics just pulled the ultimate troll move, shifting their home games against Clark's Indiana Fever to none other than Angel Reese's hometown, Baltimore, Maryland. While we know this is a cash grab for the Mystics, Reese fans are losing their minds. The question now is, why couldn't they move it to Capital One Arena at Washington like last year? Or did they just set Reese up for the ultimate embarrassment in her hometown? Either way, this is about to be pure WNBA chaos, and honestly, we're here for every second of it. Angel Reese's fans are absolutely spiraling, and you can't help but laugh. Caitlin Clark is about to step into Reese's backyard, not once but twice this upcoming season. And the meltdown from her supporters is hilarious. This right here is the Caitlin Clark effect in full force. And spoiler alert, it has nothing to do with Reese's overhyped antics. The WNBA has never seen a player command this level of attention in such a short span, and the proof will be seen in Baltimore. Chicago fans already got a taste of it when Clark came there for the first time. The game was electric, the arena was packed, and the energy was at an all-time high. But let's be honest, people weren't showing up to watch Angel Reese clank jump shots and throw temper tantrums on the court. They came for the real spectacle. Caitlin Clark putting on a show and proving why she's the biggest thing to happen to the WNBA in years. The league has been waiting for a player like this, someone who can draw massive crowds and create true excitement. And no, that doesn't come from Reese's exaggerated celebrations after putting up mid-tier performances, but her attention, her notoriety is based off Caitlin Clark. Because she wins the national title, first thing she does, she mocks Caitlin Clark. And then she doesn't even celebrate with her teammates, so she's made it personal with Caitlin Clark. Then she's played off of that. Now, Sky fans, who have somehow convinced themselves that Angel Reese is the future of the league, are scrambling. Every time Clark steps into their city, it serves as an undeniable reality check. Reese's supporters have spent months hyping her up as the next big thing, but here's the brutal truth. You can't be the face of the league if nobody outside your bubble cares. The only time Reese is trending is when she's either complaining, missing wide-open layups, or stirring up petty drama. Meanwhile, Caitlin Clark is rewriting record books, selling out arenas, and bringing an entirely new wave of fans to the WNBA. And here's the funniest part. Rival teams are finally admitting what the rest of us already knew. The WNBA thrives when Caitlin Clark is on the court. Before she arrived, the league struggled for attention. Now, arenas are at capacity, TV ratings are skyrocketing, and suddenly, every franchise wants in on the action. And let's be real, it's not because of Angel Reese dropping an occasional double-double against subpar competition. It's because Caitlin Clark is a generational talent who makes every game a must-watch event. Chicago fans are clinging to a false narrative, trying to convince themselves that Angel Reese is in the same league as Caitlin Clark. But let's be real. Clark is drilling logo threes like it's second nature, threading impossible passes and delivering highlight reel moments every single game. Meanwhile, Reese? She's hustling, sure, but there's a massive gap between being an effort player and being a true superstar. The WNBA is a business, and when it comes to who's driving ticket sales, merchandise, and TV ratings, the answer is crystal clear. It's not the player flexing after making a routine free throw, and it's not just the fans struggling with this reality. The Chicago Sky organization is in an awkward spot too. They have to market Reese as their star, but every time Clark comes to town, she owns the moment. The packed arenas, the jersey sales, the viral highlights, it's all about Clark. Meanwhile, Reese's supporters are scrambling for ways to justify what's happening. They insist she's great for the culture, but last time we checked, culture alone doesn't pay the bills. Yeah, that's something about Caitlin Clark, yeah. Caitlin Clark has brought so many eyes to women's basketball that is amazing. A dude named Acho, I forgot his first name is something Acho. Emmanuel Acho, yeah. He showed how in 5 days before the draft, she made the WNBA more money than they would have made in the next 5 years without. But you know what does? Viewership and revenue. And Caitlin Clark is delivering on both like nobody else. WNBA teams are catching on fast. When they see what Clark is doing for Indiana, They all want a piece of the action. This league has never commanded this level of national attention before. And let's be honest, it's not because Angel Reese is pulling down rebounds. Clark's presence alone elevates regular season games into prime-time spectacles. She's converting casual watchers into dedicated fans, while Reese's supporters are left watching another brutal reminder that their favorite isn't the main event. And let's talk about the excuses, because, oh boy, there's always a new one when Reese struggles. First, it's that she's young. Then, it's that she needs more time. Then, it's that she's still adjusting. Meanwhile, Clark is getting triple-teamed, hacked on every possession, and still putting up elite numbers. Funny how one player constantly gets excuses while the other simply proves, night after night, why she's the biggest thing to happen to the WNBA in years. The preseason game, Brazil versus the preseason game against the Brazilian national team sold out in 36 minutes, 15,000 fans. There's tickets for that game, upwards of $4,500. Reese's fans are spiraling, and honestly, it's hilarious. They're shouting, why isn't Angel getting the same treatment? Why aren't teams bending over backward for her too? Simple answer. She's not Caitlin Clark. Clark is selling out 10,000-seat arenas in minutes. Every city she plays in turns into a marquee event. The Fever's ticket sales are soaring, and opposing teams are literally moving games to bigger venues just to accommodate the overwhelming demand to see her in action. Meanwhile, Reese's fans are left looking around like, where's our sold-out stadium? Reality check. Nobody's moving games for Angel Reese. Nobody's scrambling to find bigger venues because demand is through the roof. The unrivaled league experiment already proved that when Clark isn't in the picture, the excitement just isn't the same. Reese's fans keep waiting for the world to bow down and treat her like basketball royalty. But the truth is undeniable. There are levels to this. Clark's impact is real, measurable, and unstoppable, while Reese is stuck playing the role of the loudest voice in the room, demanding respect she hasn't yet earned. Fans aren't clamoring for tickets to see Reese. They aren't forcing franchises to expand arenas just for the chance to watch her hoop. And that right there is the difference. Sheila Johnson, owner of the Washington Mystics, really thought she made a statement with that speech about Caitlin Clark. She stood there preaching about how the media needs to spread the attention around, how the league shouldn't just focus on Clark, acting like she was championing the underappreciated stars of the WNBA. Fast forward a few weeks, and suddenly, her team is moving their games to a bigger arena. Why? Because of Caitlin Clark. So, let's get this straight. When it fits the agenda, Clark is just another player. Nothing too special, right? But when the ticket sales start rolling in, suddenly, she's the biggest thing to ever happen to the Mystics. Why weren't they selling out games before? Oh, that's right. Because Angel Reese and the rest weren't drawing these kinds of crowds. Sheila, 1 minute you're giving lectures about giving other players their due, and the next, you're counting up Caitlin Clark ticket profits like you just hit the jackpot in Vegas. The hypocrisy is screaming. If the WNBA had $1 for every time someone tried to downplay Caitlin while secretly benefiting from her, this league would be making NBA-level revenue by now. It's the same cycle every time. They refuse to give Clark credit, yet she's the reason arenas are filling up, the reason casual fans are tuning in, and the reason the league is seeing record-breaking interest. And now, the same people rolling their eyes at her hype are restructuring their entire business model just to get a piece of it. But, I've got a theory that Sheila Johnson is trying to do two things here. Number one, she's trying to screw Indiana Fever fans and Caitlin Clark fans. 6,000 less tickets available. Number two, while lining her pockets even more. Now, you might be like, well, Rhodes, I don't get it. Well, it's simple. Less tickets means the gate prices, alright? The gate prices for the game will actually go up. In other words, just like that preseason game they got, has got tickets for $4,500. A run-of-the-mill game like this, even, we all know Caitlin Clark tickets are expensive. So let's call it what it is, Sheila. You're not fooling anybody. You can talk all you want about spreading attention to other players, but at the end of the day, you know exactly who the real draw is. That's why your team is relocating games. That's why you're chasing this revenue wave. Caitlin Clark isn't just a trending topic, she's the future. Keep denying it all you want, but don't stop cashing those checks while you do. Clark's impact is so undeniable that she just sold out her first Indiana Fever preseason game against Brazil in less than an hour. And yet, there are still people scratching their heads, wondering why she gets all the attention. Do they need a full PowerPoint presentation? This isn't complicated. Caitlin Clark is a generational talent, and the demand for her is off the charts. Fans didn't just buy tickets, they crashed the ticketing system. Meanwhile, other WNBA players are practically pleading for people to come to their games like they're hosting a free neighborhood barbecue. Caitlin Clark doesn't just move the needle, she is the needle. And if you need any more proof of that, the Indiana Fever exhibition game sold out in just about 30 minutes. And let's be real, nobody is louder in their delusion than Angel Reese's fan base. They genuinely believe she deserves the same reaction as Caitlin. That's like expecting a local garage band to sell out Madison Square Garden. Clark has people who never watched a second of women's basketball before suddenly tracking every Fever game, every stat, every record she's breaking. Clark is proving that she's the biggest name in the WNBA, and the numbers back it up. Every time she steps on the court, it's a full-scale event, the kind that draws national media attention, sells out arenas, and has fans lining up for hours just for a glimpse. Meanwhile, Reese's supporters are acting like she's owed that same energy. Why? Because she taunted Caitlin once? Because she does TikTok dances? That's not enough. Clark delivers game-changing performances every night. She's putting on a show. Clark is getting compared to all-time greats, shattering viewership records, and making networks rethink how they cover the WNBA. Meanwhile, Reese fans are still out here trying to convince the world she's on the same level. Spoiler, she's not. One player is selling out arenas in minutes, the other isn't generating anywhere near the same buzz. Clark is the one moving the needle. She's got NBA stars hyping her up, casual fans fully invested, and young kids wanting to follow in her footsteps. That's what real star power looks like. It's a big situation again, like Caitlin Clark selling at Iowa, sold out a preseason. People saying you sold it in 40 minutes. This is within 20 minutes. Like, obviously, you couldn't get onto the damn website. It's sold out. You could have been trying to refreshing the page and knock out tickets. Most of the time, it officially sold in 40 minutes, but like, realistically, if an almost crashed website. Meanwhile, Reese fans are acting like there's some grand conspiracy against her. No, the truth is simple. Caitlin Clark is the reason people care. She makes the game exciting. She gets people to tune in, to buy jerseys, to fill arenas. Reese, she gets people arguing on social media. That's the difference. The numbers don't lie, and the public knows what's up. Clark is in a league of her own. Reese's fans can keep coping, but the reality isn't changing anytime soon. They can throw tantrums, write think pieces, and try to force this Angel is the face of the WNBA narrative all they want. But reality doesn't care about emotions. Clark is here, and everything, attendance, ratings, media attention, proves it. So go ahead, Reese fans, scream into the void, cry about unfair treatment, or convince yourselves it's just the media hyping Caitlin up. None of it changes the facts. Caitlin Clark is back, and once again, Angel Reese is just another player watching greatness unfold right in front of her.